Welcome to Notebook Summaries. Today, we're diving into the incredible history of Bangladesh, a story that's all about ancient glory, tough colonial struggles, and a truly fiery birth. All right, let's get right into it. We're going to trace this nation's journey through 6 key eras, starting with its earliest civilizations and bringing it all the way to the present day. So our story really kicks off more than 4,000 years ago, in a land filled with powerful, competing Hindu and Buddhist kingdoms. As far back as 326 BCE, this region was home to some serious empires. One of them, the Gangaridai, was so famous for its massive army of war elephants that it supposedly made Alexander the Great himself think twice about marching any further east. You know, you don't even have to take my word for it. Ancient Greek historians actually described Bengal as this incredibly formidable power, so much so that Alexander's armies were basically convinced to turn back. This just goes to show, this wasn't some quiet backwater. It was a real center of power, shaping world events even way back then. And for centuries, you had these major dynasties, like the Buddhist Palas, who built these amazing monasteries and universities. Think places like Samapura Mahavihara, and the Hindu Senas, all fighting for control. They really shaped the whole religious landscape of the region, long before Islam arrived. Each one left a huge mark on Bengal's culture and its way of thinking. Now let's see how all of this builds into an era of just unbelievable wealth and a real flourishing of culture. So in the 14th century, the independent Bengal Sultanate pops up, and its wealth became absolutely legendary. I mean, you had European merchants, famous travelers like Ibn Battuta from Morocco, Chinese diplomats. They were all drawn here, and every single one of them described a land of just immense abundance and really sophisticated trade. This period was, without a doubt, a golden age. It established a really distinct Bengali cultural and political identity. You see it in the grand architecture and a booming international trade network. And for the very first time, the region was actually unified under one name, Bangala, which really laid the foundation for the modern nation. But you know how these things go. Bengal's independence wasn't going to last forever as it was pulled into the orbit of India's greatest empire. Under the Mughals, Bengal basically became the economic engine of the entire empire. The city of Dhaka rose up as this major hub for administration and commerce, and it became famous for its fine muslin. This fabric was so incredibly delicate, they called it woven air, and it was one of the most sought-after luxury goods anywhere in the world. So this whole era was really defined by 2 major forces pushing against each other. You had this fierce local resistance to imperial control, led by chieftains like Isa Khan, and at the same time, the steady arrival of European traders. So while the Bengalis were fighting to hold on to their autonomy, these new trading companies were quietly setting the stage for a total power shift. The absolute crucial turning point came in 1757, with the Battle of Plassey. And look, this wasn't just another battle. This was the moment the British East India Company went from being just a trading group to a ruling power. This is the beginning of colonial rule. Okay, so the British come in and they totally reorganize the economy and society with this new landholding system. It gave ownership to a class of local landlords, the zamindars, and their job was to collect taxes. But here's the real kicker. This policy massively favored the mostly Hindu landowning elite over the predominantly Muslim farming population. And those consequences, well, they would echo for centuries. And this chart just illustrates the economic hit perfectly. While all the money from Bengal was helping to fuel Britain's own industrial revolution, Bengal's world-famous textile industry was systematically taken apart. The markets were flooded with British-made goods, and just like that, a global exporter was turned into a dependent consumer. You see, those social and economic divisions created under the British weren't just some abstract idea. By 1947, they exploded in the partition of Bengal. The decision literally split a culturally and linguistically unified region right down the middle, creating this geographically and culturally separate territory of East Pakistan, which was now bizarrely connected to a western wing over 1,000 miles away. And that awkward union, well, it set the stage for one of the 20th century's most intense and brutal struggles for self-determination. The differences were just stark. Even though East Pakistan had more people, it was treated like a colony. Its economy was exploited, and its unique cultural identity, especially the Bengali language, was suppressed in favor of Urdu. This kind of economic and cultural neglect just fueled this massive growing sense of alienation. And all that simmering resentment finally just erupted, galvanized by leaders like Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. His speech on March 7th, that wasn't just some political address. It was, for all intents and purposes, a declaration of independence that mobilized millions and set the nation on a direct path to war. The result was a brutal 9-month liberation war. The Pakistani military's crackdown led to a genocide that caused unimaginable human suffering and created one of the largest refugee crises of the 20th century. The war finally ended on December 16th with the surrender of the Pakistani army and the birth of the independent People's Republic of Bangladesh. So, what happened after independence? Well, the journey was far, far from over. The new nation faced just immense hurdles. We're talking political assassinations, military rule, devastating natural disasters, and these incredibly intense political rivalries that often just paralyzed the government. Every single challenge tested the nation's resilience at every single turn. And yet, despite all that, in recent decades, Bangladesh has pulled off a remarkable economic turnaround. It's been driven by its powerful garment industry and money sent home from abroad, and it's really emerged from the shadow of poverty to become one of the fastest-growing economies in the entire world. And that brings us to today. The recent dramatic political events have once again put the nation at a crossroads. It leaves us with this final thought. Having navigated these immense challenges time and time again, what does the future hold for this nation that was truly forged in fire? From ancient empires to a modern economic force, the story of Bangladesh is truly one of enduring identity and incredible resilience. To see more, check out our Quick Country Histories playlist right here on Notebook Summaries. And of course, be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.